Hello.
Yo, yo, yo. I wonder if my Streamlabs is back on.
Let's see.
Hold on, give me a second. Do
Well, it's been over a second.
alert box. Okay, good.
Amazing.
Okay, good. That works. That works. All right, let's get back to it. You ready, DJ?
Let's do it.
All right. Don't worry, it'll be a short episode.
Huh?
Hey everyone, welcome to Granblue Radio. This is episode number 208. This is Vibrating Sheep, and joining me, as always, the vice captain of my crew.
That's DJ. Hello.
So we had ourselves a very, very short choreograph. It basically was just like the schedule, a bunch of things that we already knew, and a note that, yeah, this is kind of a month to take off because they're working on stuff for the anniversary. Like, in terms of content this month, we've got Rise of the Beasts, which is going on right now, and is like, it requires less of our attention than ever before.
The words is like unite and fight.
There's a Unite and Fight. That's not really content more than it is just
I think it's
rewards.
meat.
It's stuff to do. Um, let's see. We've got a what is? Let me check the rest of it. But it's like there's a rerun. I know that. There's not much to do this month, and that's okay
And
because
the
I
end
need to. What's
event.
up?
And in a month event. That's it.
Yeah, so there's a rerun of it's Elegy for Auld Lang Syne, the one with Joy. So yeah, this is gonna be a quiet month. We're gonna use it to catch up on things. I'm using it to, among other things, farm a whole bunch of Halos.
Ah, yeah, I understand.
Are you gonna be doing any like projects to catch up on this month, or are you just mostly gonna take a break?
Second AORB.
That's fair. I mean, I've emerged from the Akasha mines. I don't know if I told. Well, you specifically know this, but I don't know if our um,
Viewers.
viewers know this. But I emerged from the Akasha mines. I did approximately 1900 or so Akashas, I think it was. It's under what uncap. There they are, 200, 200 plus, etc. And so, um, out of that whole fiasco, and by digging myself all the way basically to the center of the earth, I got 3 gold bricks. It wasn't bad
From gold chest. Not gold chest. From blue chest, right?
for blue chests.
Yeah.
Um, I full autoed a lot. I played other games.
It's probably healthier than trying to race.
Oh man, did I ever tell you, those of you who are followers at least and listeners, about just how bad I dug for a gold brick on Akasha release? Um, I
Can't
was
remember this.
I was playing Dark Runeslayer at the time because it was the release of Akasha, and people were like, "Oh, um, a lot of us don't really know how this fight works." I'm like, "Yes, perfect!" And so I played Dark Runeslayer in order to just spam ignition as fast as possible because people only wanted sages in those raids or somebody who could heal the raid because they're just like, if Spartan doesn't work in the raid, let's just bring 1 billion sages and we'll just heal each other to full every turn.
I
And I was,
forgot those days.
yeah, and so I
Now everything's
basic
blue chest.
yeah, basically I gave myself carpal. Like I almost
How many
got
buttons do you have to press with that?
for Runeslayer, yeah, because it's like press ability 1, up left, confirm, keep swinging, like yeah. Anyway, so
Can you send me your full auto team later?
sure, it's very simple. It's like it's Orchid, it's 6, and then it's whoever I feel like. Anyway,
Yeah, that sounds alright.
actually it's Predator because I know Predator is going to die and then she gets replaced by somebody. Anyway, so I'll send you the whole setup. But you know, I full autoed. I did other things. I fulfilled other projects. I'm done with Akasha. I've emerged from those mines. Um, now I'm just doing other stuff. like catching up on Dragon stuff, catching up on Replicard, like doing a bunch of stuff just that I had willingly let pile up. Like it's a better time than ever to just let our Arcarum tickets pile up. These passports, you can just hit skip. It's great. It's great for me specifically. I mean, because
I can skip now. So
yeah, I have all 10 evokers. I'm just like, okay. But anyway, um, but yeah, uh, other than that, like, it's gonna be a pretty quiet month. And what we're gonna do with this quiet month is talk about the year to come and talk about the year that passed. So, first things first, the year to come. Um, there is something that I did want to talk about real quick, but not in too much depth yet because there's a lot of nuance that I don't want to miss when we talk about this. So, there is going to be a full translation of the letter from the director of 2021. Um, Hold on. Let me make sure I did that right. Okay, good.
it came out like 2 a.m. our time.
It really did. So here's the letter from the director, and there's a lot of talk about like the challenges that Granblue Fantasy went through last year because the world went through a whole lot of challenges and what they prioritized, why things were delayed, a lot of stuff like that about like the culture adjusting to remote work and work from home in places where home doesn't even have a desk, stuff like that.
If you see in Japanese home, they're small usually.
Yeah. So anyway, there were just a few things that I wanted to cover, and then next week we'll go through this in much more detail when we have my translation of it, and we'll go over that. But uh, one thing there's a couple things on here that I wanted to cover. Number one is about the philosophy behind 6-player raids, and so do you remember the early days of Rose Queen?
Slightly.
Like
I remember when it was 6 man.
when it was 6 person, and it stayed 6 person for a while. Remember that until a couple weeks ago. Like we actually had a lot of trouble getting past 10%.
Remember
Like
when? Remember the video of someone healing it back?
back
Like
to full.
people. Yeah,
Yeah,
that video was funny. By the
that
way,
is funny. That's just funny. But like the whole thing about 6 person raids is that when there is 1/6 of the responsibility on you, then people will sort of freeze up and feel guilty, and so that nervousness means they just don't join. And so they're just like, you know what? We're going to make sure that we make people less nervous about joining these things, and that's why the 6 dragons are 18-player now. The Malice raids are that, and then yeah, Rose Queen was raised to 18 person because even Rose Queen, which is like super introductory level at this point of Granblue Fantasy, people just weren't joining it because they were afraid of it. And so yeah, they're making this friendlier to casuals. They're also not taking away hard 6 player content. So there's unannounced raids that are coming up that'll be doing that. Yeah. Uh, if they ever take the Dark Rapture to 18 person, just you're gonna just get the end instantly.
oh yeah, so that's not gonna.
They would have to change that raid very significantly. But yeah,
18 count. Let's go.
three now it takes 3 players wiping to kill everybody. But anyway, um, so that's something that like is an interesting reveal of the philosophy of why. Not just to make them easier, but to make it so that people are less scared of them. And so that's an interesting like insight into how they think.
I mean, there was a long time where I didn't do bubs. Bubs was pretty comfy actually, but I just didn't do bubs.
Yeah, because you don't know the fight and you're nervous about it. And you just don't want to hold people back. And then there's people. Then we do it as a group of friends, and I'm just like, Mistaku, I forgot to bring skills.
Don't worry, we passed that one. You didn't stream it though, coward.
Then I shouted Mistaku on the next one. I'm like, I didn't count to 30. We passed that one too. Uh,
We passed it. We passed it with a Dead Earth player half the time.
yeah. So yeah, HRZA blank in chat says I was scared of messing up during my 6 man, so I soloed them the first time. So that is not an uncommon thing. Kato Emery is one of the faces of this game. She hosts all of the streams. She hosts the TV show. She voices like 16 different characters in this game and something like that. But she's just like, I don't want to be a burden. I'm just gonna solo everything.
I
And
mean, yeah. So like during what was it, Dark Rapture?
mm-hmm.
That was like her first time actually doing that one
Because
on
she
the Comfy
yeah
stream.
yeah on the comfy stream, and it didn't end up being that comfy because they were just like, oh, they would like read from this gigantic list of things what they were going to be facing next, and they're just like, okay, did it happen? No, we died. Oh, okay. Um. Anyway, so that's an interesting philosophy thing that I wanted to talk about. Let's see. This is quality of life stuff. I'm gonna skip over it. Um. The end game content stuff I'm going to talk about another time as well. Um. And so this is something that I would also like to cover before we go over this again next week, which is sort of their goals for 2021, which they said are the same as the goals for 2020. They want to make the game easier to play. Like, not easier, but easier to play. Because, so the game has more users now than ever before, thanks to the game continuously improving, thanks to COVID and everybody having to stay at home, thanks to relentless marketing, like
Collabs also help.
thanks to Demon Slayer, yeah. Um, and like they want to make sure that two kinds of players are served, which is the player who takes a break and comes back, and they want to make sure that that player doesn't get confused or doesn't get confused by how much the game has changed, and doesn't get overwhelmed by how much stuff there is to do. Um, and they don't know what to do next. And so that's one of the ways that they want to make the game easier to play. And then they're just like, so if you are a daily, 365 days a year player, one, thank you, and two, like, you don't feel like you're being left out. We release, a piece of content every week in order for you to stay playing this game. And so they're just like, yeah, if you're not taking breaks, then we want to make sure you still have things to do, and they keep doing that. And 2020 had, if you look back at it, an incredible amount of new content. I mean, they released the Tower of Babel. They,
V2,
what was that?
V2.
Yeah, they released V2, and then V2. Yeah, they talk about their philosophy behind V2 in this one. Once again, we'll get to that next week, but um, they're trying to make sure that there's stuff for people at the end of the game to do, people at the beginning of the game to do, and people coming back to the game and going, "Where was I again?" And so, in terms of what's coming for the end game, they're like, yeah. So the Tower of Babel will keep expanding. So the Tower of Babel is considered essentially end game content. The Pride of the Ascendant's gonna be coming. More six-person raids are coming, and they said that because of how basically this is another thing that I'm projecting onto based on conversations they've had. This was a Kato Emery thing where she's like, I love V2, but V2 fights just plain take longer. And so, based on that, they're sort of restricting themselves to harder content for what V2 is going to be. We'll get into that when we have like a firmer, because this was a what 6 paragraph declaration of intent, so there's a lot to do.
6 paragraphs in Japanese. That's like a novel.
Yeah. What do you mean when it's a novel? It's like 8 tweets. It's fine.
Uh huh. 8 tweets. How many
Eight,
tweets for you, Dom?
like 20. Don't worry about it.
Uh huh.
All right, so that is it about the year to come. Does anyone have any questions or comments about that? Oh, like I said, we're gonna try and dig way deeper into this next month, or not in the next month, basically just next week.
Let's be honest. There's nothing happening next week.
Yeah, we're gonna be covering this next week, so we're gonna come back to that. But anyway, so that's that. Let's go close that. All right, let's get to what we wanted to talk about, DJ.
I
We're going to part
love
2.
slides.
Data. I mean, I make no secret that I work in data and research, and I love numbers. I love stats. I love growth. I love
I love
tracking growth. What's
I
up?
love understanding the numbers. Really.
Yeah, the numbers are a story, and some people will take the story a certain way, and some people take the numbers a different way. So, all right, the first stat that these are all stats that were as of the beginning of December, because these are all slides that we took from the Kokodake report, the here and now in Granblue Fantasy, from the Granblue Fantasy Fest 2020 stream. This is one of the few times that Cygames is like, here's the books, we're opening them to you to show you some cool things. Um, and so, among other things, like you look at these graphs and you're like, okay, more people are getting Eternals. The Granblue Summer Special was in August,
August,
so
yeah.
this is 4 months. So like the average, or sorry, the most common growth number was about 20,000. So Onray, about 20,000 more people got Onray. About
Again,
25,000 people got more Toei 21,000. So it's like, okay, you get a baseline, like 26,000, 31,000. They're in the same ballpark. And then you get to Seox, who got 50,000 more people making him. And you're like, why did that happen? And then you think about it and you go, oh yeah,
November 2020.
November 2020, Dark Unite and Fight. But anyway, like the coolest thing to me is that they wanted to get more people to know the Eternals because they're like one of the faces of the game. You can see that in Shadowverse right now. Shadowverse's Granblue Fantasy collab set is all about these Eternals. Every single one of them is like essentially treated like a feature character.
They also have a promotional poster, don't they?
Yes. And anyway, so yeah, like these numbers are cool, and just to look at that and go like, okay, people are working steadily. Like you can expect about 5,000 of each Eternal to be made a month, maybe plus minus 1,000, and then the Unite and Fight coming up. So we have light Unite and Fight coming up. So maybe more people will get Toei. Maybe Toei will, the next time we see these stats in March, she will have shot up past Tien. There will be a slide after about that later. I don't think it'll happen, but it would be cool. It would just be fun to watch these numbers grow. It means people are playing. This is just for numbers. Yeah, no, hold on. Numbers held in general. This one is for the 5-star uncapped ones. Sorry, I was clicking too hard in the Google presentation. So the uncapped ones, you look at these numbers and you're like, look at our boy number 6. So it's like, all right, so we have 9,000 people uncap Onray because he's one of the least popular. Comparatively, we had 23,000 people uncap Thief to 5 stars because she's just so freaking good at hard content. 15k, 24k for Toyen because, well, she's just one of the most popular in general, so her numbers go up. 80,000 people uncapped our boy 6 in advance of Unite and Fight and just used the crap out of him. He went from, like 5th place, I think it was, to 4, 5, 6. He went from 6th place to 3rd place. 4th place? 4th place. A very close 4th place. It was great. It's great seeing these numbers go up. And it also means that Cygames is doing a decent job of making sure that people actually feel rewarded for doing this, because if they didn't want to do this, they wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
When did they uncap these things? 2018 or is it 2019?
For 5-star?
For 5-star.
2018?
But yeah, these numbers started out going up pretty slowly. Now it's, people are settled into a pace where, with Dread Barrage, with Unite and Fight being easier than it's ever been before, they feel better about doing this process. They've eased into it, which...
the answer was March 20th of 2017.
2017 for the 5-star? Good lord. How long have I had these things? Wow. Alright, anyway. So yeah, the process is getting faster, which is nice. Alright, next slide. Speaking of processes getting faster, so as of the summer stream, do you remember there were like 60 people who had all 10 evokers?
Yes, I do remember that.
And Nakamura was like, "It's me. I'm +1 to this," because he did it on stream.
He did it on stream. That was so good.
So we went up to 6,000 with all 10 now, And as more people meet these evokers, they're going to start putting them into stories. Um, in the letter from the director that we just had, Fukara actually said, it's like we're gonna see like continuations of these stories. So as more and more people understand who these characters are, then we're gonna get them expanded, which is nice.
Yeah. It's also
Especially
not
for,
surprising.
mhm.
Oh, you finish first. You
I was
finish
gonna say,
first.
especially for Kaim, Frau, and Geisenberger.
Yeah, their stories aren't that great. I love Frau. Her story sucks. Uh, but it's also not surprising, like the gap between like how many have four and five and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Because
because it's
there's the main limit is what was the piece called again?
Evilite.
Yeah, the Evilite, and there's only been two in store, I believe.
There are two in the store, and the rest you have to get from badges or Granblue Fantasy Versus.
And you only get one from Granblue Fantasy Versus.
That's
So
correct.
yeah, it's really kind of expensive. You have to do a lot of United fights.
Yeah, like it requires a lot of dedication to that.
If they give us a free one, I'll just be sad because I don't know what I'll be doing with it later.
Hmm.
Please don't make it like a 5-star requirement, please.
Oh man. All right. So next up, the numbers of each evoker that have been unlocked,
Oh
and
man, Stariola. He doubled.
yeah, because remember, there are 10,000, 11,000 people with 9 or 10. So 6,000 of these 15,000 have all 10.
Well, yeah,
So
yeah.
only like 2/3 of these people got them as not their last one, basically.
Look, yeah. Yeah.
Now, as I play this character more and more, I actually start enjoying the character more. However,
V2 does
that
not
said,
play nice with them.
V2 does not play nice with this character. And yeah, Kato Emery was on stream, and she's just like, "I love Thief and I love Astariola," and Cameron's like, "Why you always do this?" Because let's go back to the Thief numbers, and Thief
It's still very low,
is
yeah.
hold on, Thief is still last place in the number of recruited Eternals, and very barely last place in the number of uncapped Eternals, very barely losing to the number 4.
Oh, that's only by like 200 something.
Yeah, it's about
300.
300, 306. But yeah, um, the jumps, like some of these jumps are just huge in 4 months. Like Nier went from 150k to 230k. That's a huge jump. But once again, Dark
Yeah,
Unite and Fight.
yeah.
Alanon 90k, sorry, 90k, 30k people made him.
To be
It was
fair,
50k
Al-
people who made Kaim.
to be fair, Kaim and Alanon is also attributed to their summons are really good.
They also have the best summon. It's true. One of the other things about Astariola that is a problem is that if you read Astariola's skills, you actually don't understand how he works. Like you actually have to play him a couple times before you start understanding. It's like, wait, what? What happens when the cup is full? What does this mean? Fill
When
the
the cup
cup?
is, when the cup is full, you get to use your specials.
You actually get to press buttons. he can.
I was just making Fate Unlimited Coach joke, but
Oh, okay. But yeah, so yeah, this is moving on to the next slide, which is just the number of each summon that have been made to 3, 4, and 5 stars, and it's just like,
man, look at
oh,
all Stariolas.
poor Temperance. Temperance is such a bad summon until it's 5 stars, basically. Well, it's also taken like 2 buffs to get to this point.
Not taking turns is not that great sometimes. Just
Sometimes,
saying.
hey, if you have the Theater of Temperance weapon, then taking a
When
turn
did that
off
come
is
out? When did that come out again?
approximately a week and a half ago, maybe 2, 3 weeks ago. Time has gotten fuzzy in the COVID era.
Yeah. So yeah.
Um, So to address something with Cerulean, what Cerulean said, Nier, Alanon, and Kaim also got skins, which probably helped as well.
I think
That's it's
they got
kind
skins
of
because they're popular, aren't
yeah. They
they?
got skins because they're also the most popular too, though. Like Kaim, so Alanon and Nier were the top, two of the top three, and Nier was not in the top three by 16 as of the summer stream, and then Kaim was the third most, is the other top three most popular as of then. So anyway,
I do want more of them having skins because I really like seeing a real CA.
they know they're working on it
I know, but it's
eventually.
just like one of those things.
Yeah. So yeah, like you just see this and you see how each summon maps pretty closely to the actual character. Like the only thing is that there are more people with a finished the Sun and no Alanon than there are people with a finished Death and no Near. I confess I finished the Sun and then left Alanon for like eighth Evoker as opposed to like my third finished summon. I'm just like, yeah, the Sun's super powerful.
Sounds really good.
Hmm.
Giving three characters double strike sounds pretty good.
Yeah, like the Sun is just clearly the most powerful. The second most powerful being Death. Hanged Man is generically powerful. I'd say probably the next most powerful would be like maybe anyway. It's up in the air after that one, after those two.
Power's cool. He just do damage every now and then.
Is it that cool or is that just sort of
A
damage
giant thing comes
sometimes?
comes from the sky. That's cool.
All right. Let's move on from this one. So, this is something that I've been talking about a lot. Where it's like, all right, these are the relative number of people with 5-star um, Magna slash Omega summons.
There's kind of a pattern between the top two right now.
Earth 5-star and Wind 5-star. It's like, oh, we can automatically crit. Earth 5-star Magna is also just super powerful, even if you don't automatically crit and you just stick a bunch of weapons in a grid and you're like, Kime's in the back.
Guys in the back here. Here's 20% more.
Yeah. Let's have this little boy in the back that is another weapon. Wind is some people actually think that Wind Magna is stronger than most, all but like the most blinged out of Zephyrus grids.
I believe it though.
Yeah, so and then Dark Magna has never stopped being popular. Not like Light Magna has always been just there for you and steady.
So much HP. There's so much HP in that Magna
Yeah.
Grid.
Fire Magna needs to get more of its due. It's actually pretty good now.
Oh yeah.
And then my sad snake boy, my sad snaky boy,
Look, there's a way you can now crit. There's AX skills on this crit weapon. Yeah,
Leviathan
that's what I mean.
Spear.
Yeah.
Are you seriously telling me in the year
Look at a
2021,
look
in
at a Neminate video.
in the year 2021, to use a grid of Leviathan Spears?
No, you don't need all of the Leviathan spears. Some of them it could be an ancient Overon.
I'm moving on. I'm sad. I'm just sad.
Yeah, remember when they made the Magna 2 update, and Water didn't really get anything.
We'll get to that in a second, actually. That's a slide after this one. Actually, you know what? We're going to skip to that slide. Here's Regalia 2. And it's like,
Yeah,
here are the number of each at 4-star. So, the Zechariah is the only Magna dark weapon with stamina on it. So, even though, like, stamina on its own isn't necessarily, like, something that's desirable because the longer the fight goes, um, the worse it gets in many cases. It's just it gets a lot of use. Like it's Fimble.
it's also not a bad main hand.
Hmm. And then this Pillar of Flame is I think the number is inflated by the number of people who made two of these, like me, because you want two of them for the crit build. And then
Yeah,
we've got the spoon. The spoon's one of those like nice to haves because it smooths out your damage curve. It gives you hit points. It's a decent main hand, but
My
it's.
favorite thing of it is the
Mhm.
video of full autoing Galleon.
Is it with just like 9 Grimnir spoons? How many was it?
No, I think it was like three Grimnir Spears, two harps. But you have so much HP because of the Grimnir Spoons.
Hmm. Um, then we have the new staff from Shiva. It's once again, it's like, hey, stamina, nay, yay. You still like some people splash it in as a one of, so it has uses. And then we get to our two sad friends, the dishwashing glove, which has a great CA. I love that CA, but
Oh, the CA is fun. It's just it doesn't. Let's see here. Let's just skill on this again.
it's enmity and trium.
Why? No, it's a lair. It's
Oh,
a small crit, small water attack and crit.
it's attack and crit.
Yeah, small.
Oh my god, wait, hold on. How many does it have? Let's see. I I I, I did get it wrong then, but hold on. So what are the full ones?
The Enemy Treatum one
It's
is the sword you're thinking of. I was talking about the glove.
Oh, you're talking about the glove. I was like, wait a
I
second.
was
I'm
talking about
pretty
the
sure
glove.
this is Envity Trium. You're talking about the
That
glove. Okay.
big. That one's big. Big trio, small enmity.
Yeah, yeah. This one we'd stare at it and go, look, even when you're only putting in one of any weapon, I would put in the Yggdrasil staff over this in most cases, unless I know for a fact I'm going to Blucilius and I need multi attack, and I'm going to start the fight with 30,000 less hit points than normal.
So I only use this sword if I'm using Gold Knight and having 100% hype on her.
Hmm.
That's about it. That's actually only about it.
Uh, but yeah, the dishwashing glove it has a really good CA. I love that effect. It's just that the problem with it is like it's competing with so much in the monk space.
Because Monk also it can hold not spears, staves, and the water staves are good.
Yes. All right, all right, all right. So we were talking about the Regalia series there. Let's go back to the ancestrals. Oop.
Yeah, I think Discord cut me off when we were talking earlier.
Oh, were we?
Uh, that's why we got confused on which weapon we were talking about.
I see. Okay.
Oh look, Video's fine.
Yeah, because people make two of these.
And that weapon's pretty good.
Well, you know what? The Wamdis spear is also pretty good. Galleon's jaw, pretty good. But the main thing about the Galleon's jaw that put it behind the Fedial spine is November 2020.
What happened November 2020? Oh yeah, your Dark United fight.
Where you just wanted to do more damage with your CAs to one shot things. Um, Ewier's beak is gonna. I feel like Ewier's beak is gonna go way up the next time we see this slide because.
So I replaced my Bahamut weapon with that thing.
Hmm.
It's more damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that weapon's pretty good. Especially
I.
since I'm playing Magna, so I'm not diluting it with normal attack.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm using Cal, Sutera, Valentine's Grimnir right now as a team because I saw just some demonstrations of it. I'm like, these numbers are very large. Let's enjoy this time together. It
Yeah,
is.
I instead of getting Sutera, I got Sociate, so I can make her CA more.
Hmm. Yeah. So, um, the Ewier's beak, I predict getting shot up with the dragons becoming more accessible, easier to do, uh, bigger rewards for Ewier's beak. Now that like more people have Sutera, more the cow exists, etc., etc. So this one's gonna be a fun one. Um,
There was a video I actually watched
mhm.
recently. So the training dummy. You know how it has
Yes,
like such a billion something health.
yes.
They were able to turn 70. They were able in one turn was able to take it down to half of its health using both cow and Valentine's Givnir.
Amazing.
It healed it back all because that's what the training dummy does. But it's funny.
It's the challenge, right? It's like it's the current biggest sponge in the game. Let's see how hard we can get it down. It's amazing. But yeah, this is one of those things where a lot of these weapons are fun, and along with being powerful, some of them, the poor Wilness finger or whatever it's called.
You get rewarded for enmity at least.
You get rewarded for enmity just by doing the normal Magno grid, like the 1.5 grid with Ekes
Yeah.
X.
Yeah, that one has crit too.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, um, so yeah, sad little Wilness. These other five, I'm going to have fun with.
The one thing I don't like about the Lu Wo weapon,
The horn.
yeah, the Lu Wo horn, apparently it doesn't stack with what's it called? The axe, the Earth axe.
Hollow Sky Axe.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't stack.
Which part? The chaser or the supplemental damage to the second, third, fourth hits?
Supplemental damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I use this as my lumberjack main hand though. It's fun. I don't use it in almost any other situation yet until I find one with a really big attack modifier. Let's keep walking.
So 3% is what you're
Yeah.
telling me.
So speaking of endgame content, DJ, let's talk about Proud Plus.
Can I
And
talk about how much I still hate Gilbert?
so Gilbert was their first design, and it shows. So the most people have beaten regular Proud on Gilbert. It's like, okay, that's doable. And then even though this fight has been out the longest, fewer people have beaten it than have beaten the Nale Great Wall.
I mean, so remember how he starts off by reducing your HP?
Yes, to a certain maximum.
Yeah, that sucks. If you so most Magna players, most they say, will like not be in their comfort zone anymore.
I went Zeus with the exact same grid as normal because I'm like, if I can't have hit points, okay, I'm just gonna summon Zeus for the shield. Um, but yeah, like it took me months to beat this one, and not necessarily because I was trying it every day, but because I felt like it was a waste of time to just like go through fit for 15 minutes of a very very trivial fight and then hope for RNGesus to save me and hope that I crossed the last phase threshold at 6 a turn with a multiple of like 6, I think.
At least they made it easier now to see your turn count.
Yeah.
Remember where you
But
had to
still,
refresh for that?
this is a design that should have been done under V2 so that you can actually see that it's there cuz Galleon has the same timer into trigger and there's a way to cancel it. It's amazing. So this is basically the thing that I think they learned from Gilbert is V2.
Yeah, Gilbert sucks still. I'm not. I'm gonna start doing it now because of the fact that I got a permanent debuff summon.
Oh, yeah, you did, which one?
Halmel.
Yeah, I did Halmel for this fight as well. Um,
You need to have a certain amount of debuffs on him, otherwise he'll start CAing you.
yep.
Uh, debuffs can stop working.
And in the later part of the fight, you get punished for pressing a blue button.
Correct.
You can only press like red buttons safely.
Oh yeah, because you can't even heal because
If you
because
heal,
he
he
hates you.
heals.
Yeah. Man,
Uh,
this fight sucks.
yeah, this one was over designed. The Nolly Great Wall, though, I love the design of this one because you are in control.
You control it by summoning, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, you control it by summoning or by time passing. But every time you summon, it's just like, oh, I'm going to change phases and the rules are going to change, but in a way that I'm explaining to you and are very easy to understand. So I like the design of this one. I hope they do more like it. Then you get to the Violet Knight. Screw this guy. um,
Why are you hitting on Nakata Georgie?
because he did not make me Yorokobu. Uh, I still haven't done Proud Plus. Once again, not because I can't do it.
You definitely have the tools now.
I have the tools. I just don't have the will to do it.
What's wrong with limiting how many buttons you can press per character?
It's just a matter of like I wiped with after 20 minutes for a couple of these ones, and I'm just like, I'll wait.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Anyway, and then there's Echidna. Echidna is, you can see, much easier than the Violet Knight, and the numbers bear that out. She's been out for less time, and more people have beaten her. Because this one's just, it's a survival check. It's just like, can you survive me doing these things to you? And if the answer is yes, then you win. It
Can't
takes a
take too long
while.
though. Can't take too long
You
though.
can't take too long. You still have to do some damage while doing it. But, you
Otherwise,
know,
because her CA gets more damage as time passes.
yeah. But, you know, I like the design of this one. So we've still got, let's see, so we've got light, sorry, dark, fire, earth, or sorry, let's take it's you take light, you take water, you take earth, you take fire. So we're missing the one that you do as wind and the one you do as dark. Before they finish the first cycle of Pride of the Ascendant.
That's gonna be kind of difficult technically to design around because
Dark
wind,
can do everything.
dark can do everything, wind can do everything.
Wind can survive anything. It's true. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the Violet Knight does have a little like so one of the things that they've started doing post V2, because these two fights come after V2, is that they give more bosses instructions. Like the Violet Knight, if you look at his buffs, they will tell you how to get around them. If you look at the debuffs from Echidna, she tells you how to get around them. So more fights that explain themselves and give you sort of that accomplishment of learning how to do them. Good. Things that just sort of happen and you just have to keep taking notes. Gilbert, I'm looking at you. Screw this guy.
I wonder if they're ever gonna update Gilbert.
Um, Speaking of V2 and explaining things, though, let's unless you want to go back and talk about Gilbert, that's a valid
No,
thing.
I already talked about how much I hate him already.
All right, all right, all right. So, speaking of these things, so this is the number of 6 dragon clear titles for the raid, and this one isn't really that surprising because most people um, were doing Fediel just for the weapon, and then like a lot of dark players cleared Luo. A lot of wind players cleared Galleon because Galleon is honestly in raid form like easier than he is in solo form. That's my opinion on it. He's just boring.
Yeah, he takes too long for me.
Yeah. Anyway, anything to comment on this one?
Not really.
Okay, let's move on.
To the solos.
To the solos. Whamdis is
So
the easiest solo. Bless you, Whamdis raid. I love you. I hate the solo so much, DJ.
the solo fight sucks.
I hate that fight.
The solo mission itself sucks.
The
The
one
solo
dot.
raid is easy.
He's got one dot. And it gives itself uplift. Like what is with that? Anyway.
Let's see here. Wellness is pretty easy as water.
Yes. Water has the tools by default and from like multiple 5 stars they got in the year 2020, both of which dunk on Willness.
Romeo dunks on him.
Vayne dunks on
Vayne
him.
dunks on him.
The Henri rebalance actually does something against him now, so that's something. Yeah, guys. Let's go.
Woo.
100% fire cut.
Can you talk about how much Fediel solo sucks?
Oh my god, it's so hard.
All right, so you have to do a survival check.
For
Both you
60%.
and both you and the boss are losing health. At 40% left, you can no longer heal.
So there's the survival check is just plain how many hit points did you have before you crossed 40%. This is your timer. And the jerk puts up a defense buff that lasts what 3 or 4 turns.
Also, don't forget afterwards, his 40% trigger is I'm gonna kill somebody. You can't bring them back.
Yeah, that's a Gilbert thing, by the way. So thanks, Gilbert.
But in order to get rid of it, you have to do a certain amount of damage. you're not gonna do this much damage half the time. Actually, not even half the time. 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I do EO cannon. I can't with was Keelan summon. I
Mhm.
still can't break it.
Yeah. I mean, something that was brought up in chat as of a week ago. You bring Grandalfon. Oh
Oh yeah,
well.
because his dot turns into healing.
Well, the thing is though that his dot turning into healing thing is something that Fediel is supposed to get angry at. So I'm not 100% sure how that works. I know that it stops after a while being angry at you, because otherwise it would be an unending loop. I haven't done it. I don't own Grandalfon, but
Because it's not Death Grace specifically. It's because it's a passive.
mhm.
So it's not like a buff that's appearing.
Yeah, I just tell Geisenborger to get in the way. But still, if you don't have Geisenborger, and let's go back to see how many people have Geisenborger, shall we?
Sure.
90,000 people uh have Geisenborger.
That's doubles in summer.
Oop, too far, too far. I'm spoiling things. Uh, anyway, the our friend Hoken has also been trying to solo Luo. That thing's tough when you're like in the rank 150-ish range, and you don't have like every single tool possible to fight the fact that he hits like a truck, and later in the fight, if you don't slow a lot, then he will just insta kill you. So
Like a lot.
it's a survival check at the beginning, because if you can't survive his autos, then you're just going to die, and the thing hits you for like what 15,000 AOE or something crazy. Um,
This is the reason why I made my HP grid in dark.
hmm and then yeah, later on, it's just like, okay, if you have Typhon, you have 10 turns to go from like 40 to 0.
Oh yeah, guess when this is right. Also, he also if you don't fail chain this one specific CA, he has uplift during that timer, so you
Yeah,
have
so
some time.
instead of 10 turns, you get 3 turns. Or if you Typhon it, you get 6 turns. It's an unremovable uplift. That thing's tough. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna.
don't know why that's unremovable. To be honest, that's way too high of a barrier.
Maybe that's what they're doing to try and make things hard for Dark these days. I don't know.
True. Dark can do anything.
Alright. Anything else to say about this before we move on to the next slide?
Not really.
Alright, let's talk about these things that are divided by rank. So, the top 5 classes, um, and this is cumulative data from September through December of what ranks use what classes. And the oldest advice in Granblue Fantasy is the first class you go for is Dark Fencer, and people have listened for a good 5-6 years essentially. And hey,
Look, we need to teach people debuffs are good.
when you make sure that the boss does half damage and doesn't do its special move as often, then you live longer. Yay, Dark Fencer! And then
Surprise.
after these are damage classes, so like Weapon Master, Mechanic, Gladiator. I don't know what Valkyrie's doing here. I really
I
don't.
The only explanation I can think of is double shovel 3.
I think also that if we do this again in 3 months, that like Kengo will be up here somewhere.
Yeah, because that was a free class during Demon Slayer.
It was. I, I feel like rank 51 to 100 is definitely the playground of like people who joined for collabs and joined like late last year, but still pretty interesting. So then you get into the high level slash impossible rankings. So we've got like Berserker, super simple class to play, really good introductory tier 4 class. Crusaor for people who don't have tier 4, and it's also just it's so good as a class. It just hits so hard and does so much. Like the
True,
CA
versus Gladiator
reactivate,
on this.
its nukes are really good. It's good in short fights. It's good in medium length fights.
It has like innate multi attack too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So we get mechanic again. You get dark. You still have a bunch of dark fencers. You start getting lumberjacks, because lumberjack is like one of the solo classes that is just so good to have. Um, and then here's the funny part to me. So rank 150 plus, the most used job is Crusader. There's just you you just use this class to like one turn everything up to having about what 30 million health or so. So any content up to 30 million HP, you either Crusader and you decimate it, or you Crusader and you like Aurum Flow, dual arts, and one turn kill it.
I mean, it's a good class,
It is.
and also you have abundance of swords in this game.
So, swords and katanas are really easy to come by. And then after that, you get a bunch of the solo classes. So it's like lumberjack and monk. They're the new hotness. Two, lumberjack does everything. it the
You
only
love
thing
it
the
it gets
main
rid of
reason to be a dark fencer slash chaos ruler over being a lumberjack is for slow. Lumberjack does everything else better.
yeah.
And then you still see berserker, you still see mechanic for like one turning things. You see luchador coming up. Like it creeps up the higher you go, and the more your one turn damage gets ridiculous. Like luchador, it was Narita on Granblue TV channel, and he's like, "So this is my Akasha grid. Akasha is like the realm of the gods. That's where people are basically having like Dragon Ball Z battles for points. He's got like a Sky Piercer. He needs to like hit a bunch of. He needs to hit like Death, and then hit Tag Team, and then yeah, and it's just like." So it's pretty funny seeing Luchador creep further and further up. The better your single turn damage gets, and then Lumberjack sort of creeps down as you need to solo things less and less. And then yeah, Soldier is another of those crazy good damage per turn classes. And
Unload the
so
clip. Just unload the clip all at once.
just unload the clip, keep going, refresh, get supplemental damage onto your girl Kolulu. Just go, go, go,
And then,
go.
then CA to reload.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty interesting seeing like the growth of players over this game and seeing sort of things either get phased out slowly or creep up as you get more and more powerful. Things that like, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Just
I
dual
am
wield.
I am curious to see if Robin Hood will even crack these numbers the next time they show them.
It's
Because
really hard to crack these upper classes though.
well, is it hard? Because Soldier, the population of people who are 251 plus is actually small. Like I'm not there yet. I've been playing this game every day for 6 years, and I'm not there yet.
Yeah, that's
Although
fair.
my time in the Akasha mines did give me 4 ranks, so I'm getting there.
I gained 3 ranks doing not Akasha grinds during the EXP up.
Yeah,
So
I did
yeah,
4. I got 4 ranks just from Akasha. I think I got a 5th rank from not Akasha. Anyway, the point is though, it's like this stuff is a much smaller population, so I am curious to see if Robin Hood will make it in here. It's gonna be hard, largely because bows suck. Bows just suck.
yeah.
You have to make like Sherwood or in this realm of the gods. This is where you start seeing the Sky Piercers come out. This is where you start seeing the Herculeses.
Hey, Hercules is a good bow.
Hercules is a good bow. You're right. So like if it's going to be anywhere, it would maybe replace Soldier. We'll see. I can see Robin Hood creeping in over Soldier if we keep getting good main hands. Yeah, maybe. Because Soldier is definitely a class that only has one main hand. There is only one main hand ever for Soldier. As opposed to like Lumberjack, which uses all sorts of really good defensive harps. Luchador is just
Offensive.
some offensive, you're right. Like Monk can pick up some of the most common weapons in the game. And Crusader can too. So yeah. It'll be interesting seeing these numbers again. I'm really interested in the way they are right now. Like you can sort of track the way damage works in this game, the way fights are designed in this game. So, it's like Crusader, bring it to solo content. Or just take 2 turns in somebody else's raid. Anyway. Anything else?
Oh, that's good on that one.
Alright, let's talk about the same numbers, the same rank divisions, but characters. So, Anything you want to see? You want to look at particular for fire?
I miss my days with Percival. I really do.
I miss Percival too. I I actually use Aglavale more than Percival now, purely because there's a boss that says, "Hey, use this thing that Aglavale and three other characters have." There is there is no such thing in V2 to say, "Hey, land fear, land petrify." Um, but yeah, it's actually interesting to me to see Athena so common at the lower ranks too. But it does make sense. I mean, remember when early in the game we would just bring Catalina to everything?
Guess you would make us live longer.
'Cause, yeah, SR. This was SR Catalina even, and yeah, so Athena does the same thing. She just makes you live longer. And so it's like okay, and
Which is
then
not bad.
she shoots up to first place in rank 151, and then she gives way to the damage character, the Eternal, in ranks 201 plus, and then
I like to creep up with Al-Anon on the last one.
and then the slow decay of Zeta.
I mean, we still use Zeta, but she's not like the frontliner half the time. You only use her in specific contents.
hmm As opposed to Tien, who's just like, everybody I do the most damage in the game on turn one, let's go! Yeah.
And enter 10 too, as well.
On turn 10, also, but yeah, Tien is like the best person to hit the sun with, basically. Not the best, there's other ones, but still. Anything else about fire?
No, that's about it for that one.
Alright, moving on to
Really?
the Lily element.
So, between all ranks, first is Lily. Lily's so good.
Lily when you're baby, Lily when you're strong, Lily everywhere in between, just Lily.
Like, she also gives really good debuffs. She gives really good defensive skill 1. Her skill 1 activates her skill 3.
But yeah, and then you have like so the Charlotta part here makes a lot of sense to me because she is part of the original six.
Yeah.
So, um, who's the original six? Whoops, who's the original six for fire? Is it Zeta?
I believe it's Zeta, actually. Yeah.
Hold on, let me think about this again. So for if it's fire Zeta, it's wind Carmelina, earth is Malou, water is Charlotta, light is De La Fee, and then dark is
Lady Grey.
Lady Grey. That's right.
I mean, Lady Grey is pretty good when you're starting out. She has 2 defense downs.
So yeah, that also makes sense that Zeta is the most common level, like rank 51 plus character for fire because she's 1 out of 6 accounts rolls her essentially on account creation. So that's why Charlotta's here. And then we have like so there's this really funny dance up here. So it's like Silva, Silva, Silva. Altair creeps up. Like Altair's never bad. He's never been bad in the history of Granblue Fantasy. Like his kid is always useful. There's just as you go higher and higher in rank, the more things take over. Silva, she gets less and less useful as fights get longer. And then in comes here's Europa, who is really good at like combining with Lily to make yourself just immune to damage for a few turns. Vajra is popular up here because you're, doing like Benito things and making fights as short as possible. And then here's the funny one to me. Here's the number 4 and here's the number 1. Like, let's go back. Let's go back to just how few people have these characters.
I mean, remember, going back to your other statement, how few people are at 251 to 275?
Yeah, I know. But it's still funny to me. Like, the number 4 here is the second least uncapped character in the game. And then, fourth least is the number 1 here. But once again, like the smaller the sample size, the more certain people can affect those numbers. But still, like this character's really good in hard content. This character can be really good in hard content, but also he had a very specific and weird purpose to either be part. So you either used him with Luchador, or you used him to kill himself. Like those were the main uses for him.
because of his taunt.
Hmm. So someone's talking about how like the number four is strong for every was used to be strong for every water player's damage, and it's like, and then they also gave that to Catalina, and they have like other characters who do it, and then water attack up is just Lily over here. Water attack up's always good. Anyway, water's in an interesting place, and by an interesting place I mean I want toys. I want toys, side games. Give them to me.
Oh wait, I'm still waiting for the Merglace update.
The Merglace update will just be when they release Catalina again. I don't know. There'll be a new one. Catalina with the Catalina and Ares. Grand.
We've learned that you can retroactively change a skill on a weapon.
But will they?
Oh, yeah, that's a question. Will they?
Let's move on
They
to
won't,
Earth.
but
So, 1 out of 6. We go back to this. 1 out of 6 accounts rolls a Maloo, and then they don't use her. So, the number one used character is Halicina. I don't understand why, honestly.
I mean, she does big damage.
When you're a baby, it's true. She does really big damage. She ramps up fast.
Zeke's solid. He was just a solid character before the updates.
Yeah, and now with the update, he's actually just crazy good.
Yeah.
Cagliostro's a popular character and has been around forever. Um,
Solid.
so you see a brief like instance of Kane being in the top 3, and then it's just like, here's 8. The number 8 is here, followed by the guy who never leaves the back line and the girl who never leaves the front line.
Summer Alexio's really good.
She changes the way fights work. Kaim's really good. He changes the way grids work. This guy just hits like 18 trucks tied to each other.
Oh, let me triple attack next turn after I see a double times.
Hmm. So, we've talked before about how like Earth is in this weird spot where a lot of its characters that you need to sort of break free of certain things are limited, and then you just remember that like there is this unmoving backline spot, there is this sort of unmoving front line spot that you really, really, really have to justify moving out. And so, if these numbers get run again, we'll see what happens because I see like Grand. So they finally made a character to replace Summer Alexiel in some ways, and it was Grand Sandalphon. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, Earth's very top heavy. The top is here, and he's very heavy. He's a big boy. Moving on,
Moving on.
we have Wind. So this is the one that I really don't understand. What is Summer Yule doing here?
I don't understand that one really.
Like, she's a limited summer character, and if you are rank 51, like this is my only explanation for this. The only explanation I have for this is that one, she has the Yoda thing, but also two, a lot of people who use her joined during a promotion where she was rate up. That's the only thing I can think of. And
Yeah.
that was what? March 2020? Was she 2020 or was she 2019?
That was earlier.
Summer 2019? It's not summer 2019, March 2019. It's like, that's a.
March 18th, 2019.
I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. But once again, like the number of players at 51 to 100 will be a lot of these players who log in for roles, play a little bit, and then sort of go off for a while. Because the way that you gain rank in Granblue Fantasy right now, if you play like for a week during a campaign, you're rank 100.
Yeah.
They just throw points at you. Um, so that's the only explanation I have for this. This is the one that's the most confusing to me on this entire list. Meanwhile, like you get like Tiamat coming spiking up between 100 and 200 here. We've got Grimnir. We've got like, and then we've got the two unmoving spots. Like we've talked about the unmoving spots in Earth, and now we have unmoving spots in Wind also. Like the existence of these two characters, you have to justify why you're not using them, as opposed to like building something around somebody else. Like this character is just immune to damage like a third of the time, if not more. This character is immune to damage like a quarter of the time, if not more. And then,
Has
yeah,
that Veil.
there's what?
It's a team that has Veil.
Yeah. And then we have Tien over here.
My favorite win character.
The theories that they had were number one, you're spamming turns to get to turn 10 because Tien's ultimate doesn't require um,
Elements.
an element. But it's like, but doesn't Neon? Well, Neon's doesn't uncap. It just gives you the triple attack and chaser. But also just like maybe they just have her in the backline all the time. I don't know. They were trying to figure this one out, the puzzle of this one, on the stream. They're like,
Once again, I like trying to figure out what numbers mean because this one really is crazy.
it's like, what is this? What's this doing here? It's like you assume that she's backline, but in a lot of the raids that you do in rank 250 plus, where you're digging for gold bricks, Tien's passive doesn't work.
They're in blue chests or MVP chests.
Yeah, like if you're digging for gold bricks, where do you find them? You find them in Akasha, where they're in a blue chest. Proto Bahamut, until last month, it was in MVP chest. Now it's in blue chest. In Ultimate Bahamut, it's in host chest, or it's in the guaranteed chest from just existing. So it's like if you're at this point of the game, Tien backline isn't necessarily like helping you anymore. They don't use Wind to farm gold bar. I mean, you used solo things, but what's Tien doing in the back if you're soloing things? Arkaram uses Tien. Are you using? If you're saying that it's Arkaram, are you using just a Wind Proximo with Decimate to kill everything in Arkaram? And is that a high enough use case that Wind players have Tien in the top 3?
Okay, so why save on an end tier here?
Yeah, then what would Seven and Indira be doing here? I guess it's just because you're doing the actual hard raids as them, but it's like if it was just hard content, wouldn't there be more Katzlias and Grimnirs here? I don't know. I don't think that just Arkaram is the reason that she's here. Looks like it's Factor, but I don't think it's. I don't know.
Well, anyways.
Moving on to Light then. So Sandalphon's free, so that one makes sense. We've got like regular Jean. She's been around forever. Lucio's an interesting one here to be in the baby bracket. It's like Sandalphon, Lucio, and Jean. So you just shuffle things around between ranks 50 and 150. Sarawell being in 150 plus is really interesting to me.
Yeah, he comes out of nowhere.
EO being like ranks 201 to 250, yeah. Like
That's
then
me.
here comes like the hard content team here, and then you get Tien again.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's like are people using light for Arkaram? Is that your explanation? Like how do you explain if you're saying it's specifically because of Proximo players who have a Proximo and Decimate who use it on just every Arkaram fight. What's she doing here? I don't know.
Yeah, I need to figure out where they're actually getting those numbers for those teams at that point.
And it does say they targeted active players for this.
Yeah.
And so they're not looking at the teams of like inactive players or people who've been away from the game for a long time. Plus, if you're ranked 250 plus, 251 plus, you probably haven't been away from the game for that long a time. But like, This is weird. I can't explain the Tien. The Sarawell makes sense because he's just generically useful with Veil.
His also updated also wasn't bad.
Hmm.
I actually like his update a lot.
But yeah, like the Tien is just it's boggling. All right,
Dark.
last one we're gonna go over for the rank based ones is Dark. So um,
Is this our first? No, no, it's our second evoker.
this is our second evoker. Alanon was previous on this list. No, third evoker, Kaim.
Oh yeah, the guy who never leaves the back row.
Hmm. So Vania number one for being between 50 and 150. I used her a lot when I was these ranks. There's more dispels than ever before, so you don't need to use her for the same reasons as before. But she's just good. She's good. She's cute. She's popular from Rage of Bahamut. Dark Jean is one of those characters where it's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I don't really understand Dark John that well anymore. Because was it? She has a debuff. That's all I know about her.
And then here's Narmea. Narmea is a very popular character. So in general, all right. And then you get to like 150 plus, right? So Summer Zoe in number 1, 2, 3 makes sense. Like this is sort of a power spike. This is when you have all of these claws gathered up. You're using her to farm things. You take some impunity turns, and then you just need her less and less over time because 6 just takes over.
She later becomes an emergency button.
She later becomes yeah. You get Nier, who creeps up over time because it's like, yeah, I now have the Evoker and I have Death, and I'm going to use this character for all 4 of her very good use cases. You can start her in front as just a normal ass character. You can sacrifice her to Death to get a debuff that just doesn't fall off, while you use your Zoe to take a bunch of super powered damage turns. You keep her in the back in hard content and to make sure your main character doesn't get one shotted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My favorite now is reviving her over and over again, so I keep getting my stacking buff.
Oh yeah, what's the death weapon called again? Is it actually the Kiss of Death? No, is it for the New World Foundation weapons?
I'll have to look it up.
It's something of death. Hold on, it is the
Pain of Death.
Pain of Death. Okay, that makes sense.
You're thinking of Kiss of the Devil.
Oh, it's Kiss of the Devil. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. But yeah, that weapon is super fun. I need to actually start integrating it into my game.
Does a lot of damage as main hand.
But yeah, the boy 6 who just gets brought to every single piece of content in the game.
Xeox is really good.
He's super good.
Remember, there was a jump in how many people made him 5-star.
Yep. And then my girl here, Vicky, lucky cookie Vicky right here. Um, I I do wonder, because we're about to get to the starred characters. Like a lot of people love Vicky as a character, both as a playable character, as a just character to love and appreciate the character, like the writing for, and the personality of, and as a character to like draw and stuff like that. I really wonder what'll happen to the number of starred and ringed characters with our Vikala.
I mean, we know the crazy man who has
Perpetuity
holding
ring on her.
Yeah.
She can't deal damage. Don't worry about it. 10% damage cap up. Let's go. Oh man. I like I said, I'm curious to see if these numbers update that. I don't see 6 ever moving from this front spot.
After
What
his
is it?
update, I'm like I never like remove him from anything unless I want to play a different team.
Yeah, in April he's going to be getting the first 2 to 3 steps of his 6-star uncap, and they'll somehow make him better.
I don't know how you make him better. Really, I really don't.
Start providing it to the team. I don't know. Team dodge, team mirror image. I'm not going to give them any ideas.
Hmm.
All right.
Lower the cooldown on skill 2.
No, don't do that. All right.
Taunt whenever he wants. Anyways, let's
So
keep going.
here, this is one that I didn't translate. We can just go through one at a time. So it's the most earringed characters. So earrings are an interesting case because there are a lot of people who, because they're so rare still, are very wishy-washy about using these earrings. And so they will only use them if there's like a specific purpose and a specific like earring they kind of have in mind. And so you have like so in Fire, you have some of the characters who are used the most by the top end. So you've got Tien over here, you've got Athena number 3, and then Anila with the most earrings,
So there, one of the possible earrings you can get is supplemental damage.
which is
That's really
great
good.
for these bottom two. Anila can use pretty much anything. Then you get to water. It's like, okay, Lily, sure. Everyone uses Lily.
Everyone has Lily.
She's the most used water character in the game. So just throw an earring on her, it won't go bad. Vajra is an interesting one because she doesn't benefit from supplemental damage very well. She attacks multiple times. She can benefit from like water attack, but I guess people still haven't moved her off of their teams. And hey, you know what? End of January, January 26th, her 5 star is coming. Maybe this is an investment in the future.
Number 3, I don't understand actually.
Summer Cag.
Yeah.
I I don't know. I do know that
That,
she actually took over a lot of high-end water teams. Like
mm.
a lot of high-end water damage is based on guaranteed crit and Cagliostro.
Oh yeah, she also has Keen.
She gives keen. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure
Oh,
what all of these earrings are for. I know what Lily's for. Lily's just
three
good.
turns of 50% chaser is also really good. That you
Yeah.
can extend.
So here's an interesting one. So while not being the most common Earth character in the top 3 of any category, Christmas Narmea is the number 1 most earringed character because, well, she's broken.
Character's good.
Yeah,
Like really good.
here's the number 8, and then here's Summer Alex. So, like number 8 and Summer Alex, they just don't move off of your front line. So it's like, okay, this investment is going to be good. And then we have, Christmas Narmea up here. Sure.
There's a lot of Narmaya fans.
hmm So we have Wind. Once again, like, Winds are probably the most straightforward. You've got the Monkey, you've got the Eternal, and then you've got Grimnir. So Grimnir's really good at hard content. Grimnir's just a very popular character, and then these two characters just never move off of your front line. Okay, sure. Light, we have EO up top. That's probably people fishing for supplemental damage to hit the cannon.
Let me see how many
Flowery
Flowery
sevens.
7. So good.
I mean, what? Let's see, +5 um, supplemental damage is 10,000 damage per hit. A single Flowery 7 is 14 hits.
At max, yeah.
And so each one of those things is 100. If you get a max earring roll, it's 140k every time she Flowery 7s. That's not bad.
Oh.
It adds up. We've got Grand Jean here, who is very popular for just damage burst. Okay, sure. And then Toyan. Like, Toyan's one of those characters who just doesn't move off of people's front lines again. Like, she's like 3rd most popular among 150 plus, and then most popular among 200 plus. So, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Dark, you give it to 6. You give it to Predator.
Look, Predator's really good at racing.
And Vicky. It's like, you don't give it to Nier because Nier doesn't spend all that much time on your front line.
And if she is there, she's gonna die.
Yeah. So, like, okay, sure, okay. You don't give it to Zoe necessarily because a lot of the time, if you're not using Death on Zoe, or Nier, you're using it on Zoe to get her out of there because she's, like, other than the conjunction button, she's not a very good character.
Yeah, I'm going back to statements I've made in previous radios of she doesn't actually have a CA.
And then after that is Vikala for pure popularity reasons, and I respect it. I respect every single one of you who has given Vikala an earring.
I mean, I've given her one too.
Yeah.
Vicky's great.
So, interpreting this one relatively easily, the main thing here is you just have to understand that Cagliostro is part of a lot of like high-end water damage comps, and then like all of these are popular characters to put extra stats on it. All right, here's another resource that people are very nervous about using because when you use this one is not a renewable resource. Earrings, if you're dedicated, you get 3 earrings a month. You get them from the dragons. Perpetuity rings, you get one every like 3 or 4 months.
That sounds about right. From Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, and so like Vajra hasn't moved that much from last year when they introduced these. Um, was it last year or was it 2018 that they introduced perpetuity rings? Or 2019? Jeez, time is so weird right now. Anyway, so we got Vajra. Vajra was on one of the original ones because they wanted her CA cap to go up. Same thing with 8. 8 was on there because he CAs a lot. The 10% damage cap from the perpetuity rings, really easy to see a good return on it. 6 with damage cap up, crazy good. I've actually ringed these two right here.
Yeah.
Lyria, let's go Lyria.
We have someone in our crew who has that.
I'm one of who has put a perpetuity ring on Lyria.
Yeah, go big.
Lyria gets stronger. Um, we've got like Tien once again, like super popular. Here's Christmas Narmea again, isn't it? No, it is. Is it? I think it is.
That's the only Earth Naramaya.
Yeah. Sorry, they. Yeah, just making sure. It's like there's Christmas Narmea. Once again, you just get those big numbers bigger. Nier, I want to say, is thematic. I really want to say that the Nier ring is thematic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have one on her actually. Now I think about it.
I have one on her. Here's the number 7. Once again, big numbers. Doesn't move off of your front line. Monkey and Toyen. So, these perpetuity rings, they really haven't moved that much because the supply of them is so low. And people, if they want to use this, they really want to use it for both love and power. Some people actually kind of regret their Vajra ring. And then it's gonna all come back in the end because, hey, in a month, by a month I
Yeah.
mean in 18 days from this recording, she's gonna get her 5-star. Joshua
Congrats.
in chat saying, I ringed Nier. She's sometimes in the front line.
The front line for me, so I can reanimate her.
Yeah, I respect everybody's choices when it comes to perpetuity rings. Do what you want. Make sure that after you've used it, you don't regret something coming around that in the next 3 months you're just like, oh, I shouldn't have used this ring on this character. It's like, just do.
One of my rings went to Water Dianthla.
Look, I have a ring on Summer Greya and Fire Greya, okay?
Yep,
Like,
but your characters do damage.
yeah,
You do
yeah,
Dianthla CA does, right?
I know.
It's really great seeing her doing 800 Ks.
I respect everybody in chat saying who they used their rings on. Like, there's a ring for Eren, there's this Shiva ring, there's a Summer Ilsa ring in there. Alright, so speaking of these kinds of things, so star characters is something that you can actually just change around at will. And so, the girl Vicky was number 1. Let's go,
Let's
Vicky!
go.
Let's go, Vicky! Especially, I'm really curious if they will run a Dread Barrage close enough to one of these where they'll show this stat again. Because
How many are actually this character?
I want to see our Vicky on this list. I want to see our Vicky on this list. Let's go, Vicky. But yeah, all these Oshi characters, the star characters, Vicky, 6, Nier, Summer Zoe. Once again, we see like Christmas Narmea, which is just playing the best version of Narmea in the game. Here's a monkey. I figure this is the power star character, unless they're Love Live fans. There's 2 Narmeas on this list, and of course Mao is perfectly happy to see her name right next to Sandalphon's name. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see like Zodiac, 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 Zodiac. So that's 4 Zodiacs, one Evoker, a free character, two Narmeas, and only one Eternal. So
I respect
anyway,
these. I
what was that?
respect these.
You said your piece?
I said I respect these.
I respect these a lot too. Um, I think the next time they run these stats, they should show us who was given the most chocolates, right? Because the promotion will be done.
Mm, during uh during the anniversary.
During the
Basically.
anniversary stream, if they show when they show these, they should show Valentine's, but maybe not
Mm,
White Day, because
yeah. Okay.
in
Yeah.
summer they showed combined like Valentine's and White Day.
That makes more sense because I'm like, why they promotions go on at the same time?
Yeah, you order them before that though, don't you? I forget now. Anyway,
Yes, but the promotion doesn't end until like White Day itself.
yeah, that's true. So they wouldn't throw out like half of the stats. We'll wait until summer for um the stats. Okay, here's my question to you.
How many Belials?
No. Will they allow sending chocolates separately to Yin Vicky and Yang Vicky?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
I will
They are technically two
100%.
different characters.
I will 100% send a Valentine to both Yin Vicky and Yang Vicky.
This coming year is supposed to be the Polaroid one, or is that the next
This
year?
coming year should be the colored Polaroids
Okay.
because it was the line drawings for 2020.
Let's go.
Give me both Vickies. I'm just slamming my hands on the table here, Side Games. Ah, jeez.
I
Okay.
can see them doing it, though. I can really see them
Colored
doing
was
it.
this year? Oh, jeez. It's the line. You know what? Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab them and prove it to myself before I forget because I am a forgetful person and 2020 has been awful.
Pretty sure 2019 was Polaroid. All my stuff is at work, so I can't go to my office. Oh, he's back.
All right, I have reminded myself, and in fact, it was a Polaroid year. So it's color. It's gonna be line art then in
Uh,
2021. You guys see that one? Hold on. Let's go. Let's do
I was
this
gonna,
again.
I was gonna say go to your housemate, grab my package, and see which one's there.
I'm not gonna grab your package. That's harassment.
Okay, okay, you know what I meant.
I do, and I chose to interpret it this way anyway. Oh wait, these aren't mine. I was like, wait a second. I need to give these to a friend. They've been sitting here for freaking months. Oh no. I was like, wait, Cyriel and Geisenberg, hold on a second. I know whose these are and they're not mine. Oh no. What's this one?
Mine.
Oh, okay. This one probably is mine though. There you go. Anyway, so that's it. Let's go ahead and call it for this week of Granblue Radio.
It was a short episode, right?
Oh my god, we went 90 minutes.
Episode.
Short episode, everybody. All right, thanks for joining us. Follow me on twitter.com/granblue_en. Next week we will be talking about the following things: the further director's letter, and yeah, we're actually going to be talking about 2021 pretty much, aren't we? Just
Yeah.
philosophy. All right, thanks for joining us once again. This has been Granblue Radio number 208. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Later.